the way I do confess. I think you want me to. There's something deep inside that you hide but you can't suppress. Just confess. Please confess.
Hi everyone, welcome to Love Samantha Daniels Style. I am Samantha Daniels, your host for the next 30 minutes. For those of you who have not been here before, I am a professional matchmaker and relationship expert, and for 30 minutes here on Paltalk, we talk about dating, sex, love, romance, and relationship issues. So here you can ask me anything that's on your mind about dating and relationships, if you're married, if you're single, if you're divorced, if you're looking, anything and everything that you want to talk about, that's what I'm here for. Sometimes people have questions, sometimes they have comments, sometimes you just say hi, and all of that is A-okay. Today I'm going to start off with a topic that has been coming up a lot in the past week or so, given the instability in the financial market, and that's how do you support somebody who's going through something? How do you support somebody who works in the financial markets right now, maybe who lost their job or who's scared that they're going to lose their job? How do you support that person without going over the line? And I think that this comes up a lot with people who are involved with somebody who's going through tough times, because especially when men are going through tough times, they need support. But how much support do they need? How much do men want women to interfere and to interact in their professional situation? Do you think that men are more or less interested than women to have their significant others chime in on the workplace? I think that a lot of men don't really want the woman in their life to chime in specifically for work issues because they want to be dealing with them on their own. I think that I hear from a lot of men that men want the woman to be there to be a sounding board and listen, but I'm hearing from a lot of women that when they chime in and they actually say something, the man doesn't really want to hear it. The man sort of looks to the woman as somebody to distract him and to let him think about other things, but not necessarily to chime in and say, well, I think you should do this, or I don't think you should do that. So I want to hear from some of the men in the room and then some of the women. Do you want a woman to chime in and give you her opinion, or do you just want her to sit pretty and have fun with you and help you think about something else? And women, do you want to be involved in the man's work situation? How do you feel when he doesn't want you to say anything, when he makes you listen for 30 or 45 minutes about what's going on at work, what his boss is saying, what the climate is like, how people are complaining, whether he's supposed to go back and ask about his job security, all the different things. You sit quietly and you listen for 30, 45 minutes, and then all of a sudden he comes up for air and you stop and you say, oh, well, this is what I think. And as soon as you start saying what you think, he doesn't want to hear it. It's frustrating as a woman, because if you have something to say and it feels like he's asking your opinion, and then if you chime in and he says he doesn't want to hear it, then what are we really doing in the relationship? So I'd like to hear from the men, from the women, what you think. Do you want somebody to chime in, or do you just want people to listen? Do you think that people who are outside of the actual work situation, do you think that they have more to say or less to say? Do you think it's good to hear from someone who has an objective point of view or somebody who's in it? I'm going to take the first hand I see up. Chief Jeff, would you like to say something? Okay, no. Jacqueline, 54, why don't you give me what you think?
Thank you, Samantha. I've lived this, what you're speaking about, with my husband. And I got to the point where when he was sharing with me, I would ask him, are you sharing this with me to just vent, to get this off your chest? or are you asking me for my opinion? Because once he says, I'm saying this to just vent, to get it off my chest, then I know that I have to be very patient and listen and not comment. But if he says, no, I'm asking you your opinion, then when I give my opinion, he never tells me to shut up. I lived through this. I really did. There were many times where he would be telling me something, and because I did not ask him, are you sharing this with me to vent? Or are you asking me my opinion? It didn't give him, he couldn't understand where I was coming from, and I couldn't understand where he was coming from. And that's why I always say honesty is the best policy.
Well, I think, Jacqueline, that you make a very good point, and that's exactly the advice that I would give anybody who was asking about it. I think that it's important that you ask up front, what is it that you want from me? Because it's funny, you know, if it were a woman talking, there would be no doubt in anybody's mind that if she was venting, that she 100% wants the person who she's talking to chime in and to give her an opinion, because that's what women like. Women like people to chime in, and to give opinions. That's why they're talking to people. But men, they're completely different. Men just want you to sit and to listen. So I think that how you handled it with your husband was exactly right. To say to him, okay, are you sharing this with me because you just want me to sit and listen to you, or do you want my opinion? And I think that that's absolutely right, that if you ask, he says that he wants his opinion, then if you give it to him, he can't say to you,